And that is what I call cardio sequencing, and you hit it dead on. That's the simplified version of it. Yes.
Beautiful. I know it gets so.
And you know what? The other thing it's huge about this, Tyler, is for your listeners out there. Listen, this prevents boredom, right? I mean, nobody wants to do. Nobody. I don't know a lot of people that are looking forward to a cardio workout. Well, when you do it this way, get ready because it's going to make it more fun. It's going to go by faster, and you're going to learn things about yourself that you never learned before because you're going to push yourself out of your intensity zone.
I like that. I think it's a cool model, especially if people are setting aside, 45 minutes to train, and they're going in there and they're doing a bunch of worthless stuff. Right? At least this way they can have a pattern where they do that interval training for 15 minutes, do some more low intensity stuff for 20 to cool down, and then finish it up with some 90-second sprints on a rower or something like that, right?
Yeah, and I think that you just have to be careful. Like I said, that is an advanced version. I would only do that once or twice a week, and then I wouldn't do it forever. I mean, it would be something that would get you in elite shape for a vacation or a wedding or an anniversary or whatever you might have, an event of some kind.
Right, right. Well, let's dig into the other side of things. We talked about the cardio, the intervals. Let's talk about resistance training. Me and you were talking a few weeks back about how you've been taking things lighter and really just focusing on good form, good movement. And my people are all about good movement. Now, why did you move away from insane heavy lifting stuff and go into the limit and move towards kind of that more movement stuff as well as really mastering each individual weight training exercise?
Age. After a few injuries and aches and pains, you learn your lesson. I'm 42 now, so it doesn't get easier as you age. So, after knee surgery and after a back injury and a neck injury, you learn to change the way that you train, and you also learn that all that heavy lifting that you did when you're younger is now coming back to haunt you.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in intensity, not ego. And most people really don't know how to push themselves hard enough. It doesn't require a lot of weight to lift intense. Just most people don't understand how to. But I think weight training is probably like my favorite part of all of this. As much passionate as I am about the nutrition and even the cardio sequencing, my favorite thing to do is to weight train.
Right.
So, I still believe that you should train, in the 5 to 8 rep range, but I don't think you need to kill yourself and go super heavy to do it, right? And I still think you need to be training in the 8 to 12 range, and I think you probably should be training 12 to 20 range too. But ultimately, intensity trumps all. So as long as you are giving your muscles time under tension and creating a huge burn or lactic acid burn, you're releasing growth hormone because that burn or that lactic acid is a precursor to growth hormone. So rule of thumb in general for my weight training or what I recommend for people is that, number one, you train intense. Number two, that unless you're looking to bulk up or you have goals that are different, if the goal is fat loss, you should probably be keeping your rest periods anywhere between 30 and 90 seconds max. There's no reason to rest any longer than that between sets, unless your goal is solely to recover between sets to maximize the amount of weight that you lift, which I think is totally unnecessary, and it doesn't really help with fat loss.
Right, right. So what do you typically do in the gym? You do dumbbell stuff, barbell stuff, body weight stuff? What's your routine look like?
Well, I always tell people the best plan to follow is one that you're going to stick to.
Heck yeah.
So I change it up. I mean, I am a big dumbbell guy. We just filmed a dumbbell rapid fat loss product because what I see when I go in the gym for years and years and years now is I see 5 to 10 people in the free weight area using dumbbells, and they're all ripped and in shape and, have lean toned muscles. And I go to the cardio area and there's a bunch of fat people doing cardio. So you got to ask yourself, is there a correlation there? Right? So there's so it goes back to that synergy. You need all three of them, but you need to be strategic about it. So I'm a huge believer in dumbbells because, machines are fine. TRX is all great. All the body weight stuff, all that stuff is great. But nothing, in my opinion, changes the way you look or helps you burn more fat than a good high-intensity dumbbell workout.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love dumbbells too, dumbbells, kettlebells. And that unilateral component is always really fun when you're doing things one hand at a time or you're controlling two pieces versus just a barbell, which I like barbell training too when I'm looking at strength stuff. But, like you said, for dumbbell stuff, it's a really fun way to train. Well, that's cool, Shaun. So let's dig into one more thing before you take off today. I listened to a call where you were talking about your trials of adversity, right? And so you broke on the scene with this 14-day rapid fat loss thing. It became like an instant hit. You've got tons of products sold now. You're doing an awesome job. But it wasn't always this way, Shaun. Can you share with us like a little backstory, maybe what was happening in 2011?
Yeah, well, after what happened was it's to get a little bit into my personal life, but I think it's necessary to drive home that we're all, it doesn't matter how much success any of us have. We're all real. We're all human. We all have same dreams, goals, and desires,
Sure.
And I sold my personal training studios back in 2008. And the 3 doctors who bought it decided not to pay me for it. So it put the money that I was relying on to live off of, why I built my internet business and my internet company, wasn't there. So it put a lot of stress on my marriage. We ended up having to file a lawsuit against the doctors. We did end up winning, but it cost us, thousands and thousands of dollars in attorney fees, and we got our ass kicked in the meantime.
Right.
And what ended up happening is, my wife and I ended up separating, almost getting a divorce. It got to the point where it was so bad where I literally was living at my business partner's house, and I was moving back and forth between his house and my mom's house up north. And I was literally, my suitcase was in my trunk, and I was literally living out of a trunk of a Cavalier. So, but I never gave up. And I think that, I could have drove off into the sunset many times, or I could have went and got a real job, or I could have given up on the whole dream, but I never did. And because I stuck it out, I finally had a breakthrough. And since that time, my wife and I have mended our relationship. We're stronger than ever. And I think that through the process of adversities and things like this happening to you or, me, we grow stronger and relationships become stronger. And when we do achieve some success like I'm having right now, you really learn to embrace it and appreciate it and realize where it comes from. And that it's not from us, it's from the big man above. And, everything good in our life is from him. And I firmly believe that. And that's kind of the story about the business, Tyler, that you're asking about.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you sharing that, Shaun, because it's a testament to what you said, is just keep pushing forward, have that dream, have that passion, because people might be listening to this call. They might have some stubborn belly fat they've had for 10 years and they want to get rid of it, but they just keep giving up, right? And that story is a lesson to do something even if it is something simple and superficial like that, all the way to the point where, you're talking about living out of your car and then finally realizing your dream and starting your business and blowing it up. And that just came through hard work and dedication to your goal, which I think is huge for everybody. Any other last words, that might help people make a good choice in their training and keep moving forward, Shaun?
I think, the biggest thing that I tell people is strive for consistency, not perfection. Yeah. There's no such thing as perfection when it comes to trying to achieve your dream body. And, through the adversities that I went through, that was my anchor, that was my focus. And I really, that's the thing you can take home, is to know that if you can latch on and put your workouts and your nutrition first in your life, it's not a maybe offering. It's a guarantee that every other area is going to get better and it's going to improve as long as you stay consistent. It is the anchor and the catalyst that can make you better at everything else, but you're never going to be perfect. So when you have a bad day, it doesn't matter. Don't wait till next week or next month or everything's perfect in your life. Start over tomorrow and keep starting over tomorrow every time that you screw up.
Yeah. That's fantastic, Shaun. Just keep working towards your goals. I love it, man. Well, Shaun Hadsall, I really appreciate you coming on the call, sharing your wisdom with my listeners. That was just a dense, information-packed thing. I'll definitely post a link below the show if you guys want to check out Shaun's 14-day rapid fat loss. It's a very cool program highlighting all the stuff we've just talked about in a step-by-step format. So, Shaun, thank you so much.
Tyler, it's been a pleasure, man. Have a great one.
You too, brother.